Hello everyone, today I am talking about the React.js interview at IBM for someone with 2 years of experience, and one of my friends just passed this interview and he asked not to disclose his name due to privacy. So there are three parts to the interview: the technical round, the manager round, and the third one is HR round. So today I will only talk about the technical round. In this round the interview asks both scenario based questions and the practical questions. So I will focus on the scenario based questions to keep this video short, and I will give the practical question at the end of this video. So let's get started. So our first question is, you are working on a React application where multiple components need to share the same data. How would you pass this data between these components by using prompts? So in a React application, to share data between components by using prompts, we first store the data in a state of a parent component, then we pass this data as props to child component that need it. So this way multiple component can access and display the same data. So our next question is, if one of the component receiving props need to modify the data, how would you handle that situation considering the React and directional data flow? So in React, if a child component need to change the data it received, the parent component must help. The parent send a special function along with the data, so the child use these functions to tell the parent to update the data. This keeps everything working smoothly and in order. So you have a component that should display different layout based on the user role. How would you conditionally render the appropriate layout? So in React, to show the different layout based on the user role, use condition inside our component. Check the user role and decide which layout to show. For example, if the role is admin, show the admin layout. If user, show the user layout. This changes the display accordingly. So next question is, your application has a list component that render thousands of items, which is causing the performance issue. How would you optimize this component rendering using the React feature? So answer to this question is, to optimize a React component that render many items, use virtualization. So this means only showing the item visible on the screen. As we scroll, new item load and old one disappear. So this make a component faster because it only handles a small number of items at a time. So our next question is, if only a small portion of data changes, how would you update the component without rendering the entire list? So answer to this question is, in React, to update a component without rendering the whole list, use keys. Assign a unique key to each item. When data changes, React check these keys to know exactly which item change and only render then item. This makes updated faster and more efficient. So our next question is, describe the process and the rule of automatic type conversion when performing the arithmetic operation on mixed data types. So answer to this question is, when doing the math with the mixed data types like integers, floats, the computer converts everything to most of the general type. For instances, if we add an integer to a float, the integer turn into the float. So this makes sure the operation works smoothly without losing any detail. So our next question is, can you describe how JavaScript handles data type? So please explain how dynamic typing works also. So in JavaScript, you don't have to tell the computer what type of data you are using, just like you are using numbers or text. So it figure out this as you go. So change type if needed. So this flexibility let us to write code quickly, but can cause surprises if we are not careful with our data. So the next question is, explain the concept of temporal dead zone in JavaScript in relation to let and cause. So in JavaScript, the temporal dead zone is the time when actually the let and const variable exists but cannot be used yet. So it starts from when they are declared and ends when they are assigned to a value. So trying to use them before this cause an error. What happen if we try to use a variable declared with const without initializing it at declaration? So in JavaScript, if you declare a variable with const but don't give it to a value immediately, the code will stop and show an error. So this is because const need to a value at a moment you create it, and this value can't be changed later. So our next question is, can a type of error ever return null in JavaScript? So in JavaScript, the type of operator never returns null. If you use TypeScript of a null value, it returns object. So this is a well known oddity in JavaScript because null is not actually an object, and it's something to remember to avoid mistakes in our code. So thank you so much.